Concessions.
Wicked for Good. This is the sequel to Wicked, the movie that came out last year, and that's based on the Broadway Wicked, and that's based on the book Wicked as well. I would say that Wicked for Good is definitely a lot more for the fans, the people who've seen the Broadway or maybe read the book. My theater was packed full of Wicked fans, just like clapping and cheering. You would have thought Captain America picked up Thor's hammer again. Like it was just pretty insane and pretty packed out. But I love stuff like that. I love people's fanfare. I love to see, how they fan out whatever their stuff is. I do the same with Marvel. Anyway, back to the review. So, was really interested in this story in the beginning because I've seen Wizard of Oz so many times as a child, a lot more than I've ever needed to. And I love the idea that this is kind of like pulling a curtain back of the story that I've known for so long and telling me in a different perspective where now I'm looking at the movie Wicked like, oh man, I'm on Elphaba's side. I'm on the Wicked Witch of the West side, because the story is told a different way, and I like stuff like that. And what this movie does, it has a lot more drama in the movie where Glinda and Elphaba have like this friendship, but Glinda wants to be more in the limelight, and she's kind of promoting the fact that Elphaba is the Wicked Witch of the West, which is what they call her a lot more now. They don't even really want to say her name. They wanted to call her. She's known as the Wicked Witch of the West. There's posters everywhere. Which is crazy. But yeah, but she's conflicted because that's her friend, and she kind of just wants her like, hey, work with me, and we can like do this together, and things will be fine. I really did enjoy like the first hour of this movie a lot because it kind of reveals a lot of things that you would see in the Wizard of Oz, where it's like, oh, I can match these things together, or like, oh, I didn't know that's how the Tin Man came about, or in certain things about the Cowardly Lion and things like that. Those things really intrigued me to see a different perspective of it. But there's a certain part in this movie, I think a very important part in this movie, where like in the Wizard of Oz, the house comes down and it lands on the Wicked Witch of the East, which is Elphaba's sister Vanessa. And I'm thinking with the amount of drama that they've kind of put in this movie, that this is where we see um Elphaba's turning point of the movie. Because as we know, the house lands on the sister, and I'm thinking like this movie's about to get not necessarily dark, but it's about to get a lot more serious, you know. But they just really kind of dropped the ball on that situation, you know. They didn't play it out the way that it was in The Wizard of Oz, I guess you could say, and they kind of ignored that whole scene and just made it silly. Made it I don't want to call it girly. I mean, but that's kind of what it was. It was very silly. And I understand that that may be part of the what the fans love of the books and the Broadway, but like I just wanted more story. I feel like this was the opportunity to really get deep down into that whole other side of the perspective thing. And it feels like they missed a lot of that. After that particular scene, a lot of that was kind of just gone or skipped over. You know, like I said, I've seen The Wizard of Oz so many times, and I've seen the perspective of how it is there. But I wanted to see the perspective on this end for Elphaba to see like how Dorothy is the villain to her, because we always see how she was the Wicked Witch of the West and the villain to Dorothy. We've seen that before, but I want to see it the other way around now because it's like, yo, you just threw a house on my sister, and we gotta deal with this. It like, and you took her shoes, and it just seems like they just brushed over things that I feel like they could have got really really deep into, and it feels like like I said, it was rushed, but this movie was like 2 hours and 17 minutes long. And honestly, a lot of that probably had to do with the musicals. There was a lot more music in this movie than there was in the last one. And I mean, it didn't bother me as much, but it didn't really, a lot of it didn't flow the way it did in the first one, you know? I feel like there was a lot of parts, there was some parts in this movie where it's like they're actually acting and talking, and then we break out into the song, and then we're back to acting, and it's like, no, it didn't work really well. The acting was great though. You know, I didn't have any problems with anyone's acting. You know, Ariana Grande, Glenda, she wasn't as fun. She wasn't as funny as she was in the first one. Not like I said, this kind of had a little more drama to it. You know, and she didn't have like a lot of comedic timing, and it was there, but not like as much as you would think as the first one. It's just I thought since this was kind of going down a little more serious route, that we were going to get such a deep backstory. Like I say, like revealing the curtain of a story that's been told for so long, you know, and they completely dropped the ball on that. It's just like Dorothy and like some of the other characters, they showcased a few, they showcased some of them in some of their situations, but Dorothy was like in the background, like she wasn't even like a character. And I feel like that's kind of just crazy and, you know, messed up and disrespectful, whatever. But I feel like, you know, maybe this is not how it goes. That's just probably how it is in the books, like I said, and in the Broadway. But I don't care. I really don't care. I wanted the story, and they didn't give it to me. So you know. But anyway, it's gonna make some money. The songs are gonna make money. I'm sure it's gonna probably go up for Oscars. You know, and the Grammys with the songs and the score and everything. Which everything else was okay with it. I just wanted the deeper story, which maybe I need to read the book or something. I don't know. But I'm giving this movie a VUI. I probably would have enjoyed this a little more if I had like some shots or something beforehand, you know, like but it's just uh it is what it is. So, Wicked for Good. Did you see it? If you have, please leave a comment below and let me know how you feel. Was I too harsh on it, or do I just need to shut up and read the books and just move on, right? And find out what the real story is? I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you follow me at Coops Concessions, the real Coops Concessions all across the board. I have one more movie to see for the end of the year, and then we're going to do the best of 2025 and then the worst of 2025. Um, and the last movie is Avatar, so that doesn't come out until like December 19th or something. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Coop. I'm out. Peace.
COOPS CONCESSIONS.